Hey guys, welcome back to Better Finance. Today's video is going to be about how to save realistically. Now I know there's a lot of videos out there about pretty aggressive saving methods. Today we're going to go over some actually pretty helpful steps for you in terms of saving and how you can keep the money that you save and keep more of it. So the first step, this is one that I've seen said now, and I forget who said it, but it's to write down a budget on paper and stick to it. And if you have a spouse, get them, or a girlfriend or whatever, or a boyfriend, get them to agree on it. If you are in agreement with yourself and you're in agreement with your partner, this is how much we're making, this is how much we're spending on the things that we actually need, like utilities, bills, whatever. This is how much we have left to do what we want with. This is how much we have to save without being detrimental to ourselves. Definitely start with a budget. The next step, this would be to save 10% of your yearly income. Now I know 10% sounds like a massive number. It really does. But for me, when I first started doing this, when I first started implementing this step, 10% of my yearly income was $3,500 a year, $3,500 a year. And if you think about it, that is not a lot of money to save. But if you do this step, and I'm dead serious about this, if you do this one step, saving 10% of your income, you are like head and shoulders above like at least 90% of your peers. There is a study, there are so many studies out there, but if you were to look up, how many people are actually doing this, it is really not many. And if you can find yourself doing this, if you can look back on your year and go, hey, I've actually saved probably a bit more than this, like I can't even tell you how far ahead you are of so many people nowadays. Yeah, so definitely get onto that, because not many people are doing it, and it's such a helpful thing. Because if you can start doing this a few years in a row, build up like an emergency fund and start your savings, that's huge. And because a lot of people don't even have an emergency fund. I think there was a study from the US that said 70% of people in their 20s don't even have like an $1,000 emergency fund. Definitely get onto that. It's a good thing. All right, the next step is to save enough money so that you're not restricting yourself. Don't get too aggressive with your savings to the point where it's not realistic for you to live. Don't restrict yourself in life because of savings. So save when you have money to save, but don't be too aggressive on the savings to the point where it's detrimental to you for your living circumstances. So be careful of that. Sometimes it can be an oversight, but it is a very important thing to remember. Now, the next one is to make small spending changes. So when you are going grocery shopping, I said it in the video about 10 things keeping you poor. And when you go grocery shopping, when you walk past the impulse racks at the checkout with all the chocolate bars and Gatorades and all that, don't fall for buying them, because that's the last thing you need to do. One, you don't need to be eating those things, and two, it's going to save you money doing it. So if you can go grocery shopping and not spend those things, and if you can go anywhere and sort of say to yourself, do I need this? Do I actually need to spend the money on it? Probably not. You can, if you sort of think about it that way, it's going to save you a bit of money. Now, the last thing I was going to mention, this is a bit of a shorter video, but they're just sort of pretty simple steps, is to look back at your bank statements and try to identify reoccurring spending. If you can look back at your bank statements and sort of see, what am I sort of spending money on? You can then sort of go to your budget and go, okay, well, that's an expense that I can cut out of the lifestyle spending, and I can then maybe put it towards saving instead, or investing instead. Like say your lifestyle spending is, just for example, say it's $250, right? That's a lot, okay? But say it's that. If you go back and see, okay, well, about $90 of that is on eating out and doing whatever, try and cut it in half or quarter it. If you can cut it in half, then you just saved yourself $45, and then you're like, okay, if you know that then you can update your budget after that. So if you look through your bank statements and go, okay, I'm spending too much money here. Say it's $80 that you're spending too much of, right? You go, okay, next time I go out, I'm only going to spend like $40 in total on whatever it is that I'm doing. And you can save the other 40. You're going to be on track to saving more money, and it's a realistic thing, because you don't need to do too much lifestyle. And if you're exceeding your lifestyle budget, then that's money you can be saving. Anyways, that's all I've sort of got to say. Saving realistically can be achieved pretty easily. It just seems like some of the steps can seem pretty hard, but I know you can do it. You know, I've started doing it and a lot of other people I know have, so I know you can do it as well. Anyways, I hope this is helpful and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.